So, a few months back, my roommate Carl came home with what looked like the entire inventory of a packaging supply store. I mean, we're talking an Everest of bubble wrap. Apparently, he knew a guy who knew a guy, and ended up with a lifetime supply. At first, I thought it was a bit excessive, but Carl assured me it was for a master plan. Now, Carl isn't exactly the world's most organized thinker, so when he starts talking about plans, you know you're in for a ride. He had this grand idea to prank our neighbor, Dave, by lining his driveway with bubble wrap. Every step would be a pop, and Carl was convinced it would drive Dave nuts. We set out one late Saturday night, under the guise of darkness. We were like two undercover agents, except instead of espionage equipment, we had rolls and rolls of bubble wrap. It took us an hour to cover Dave's entire driveway. We even managed to wrap around his mailbox and a few garden gnomes for good measure. The next morning, we were ready to witness auditory chaos, but when Dave came out to get his morning paper, he didn't seem bothered at all. He just stood there, looking down with a curious smile. Turns out, Dave is one of those arty types, always looking for the next big thing. Instead of getting annoyed, he was inspired by our bubble wrap runway. Within a week, Dave had transformed his driveway into what he called a pop-up art gallery. People from around the neighborhood and beyond came to experience the interactive auditory experience. There were galleries with popping bubble wrap as a new form of expression. Dave was making a fortune selling tickets, and he even started selling framed pieces of popped bubble wrap as avant-garde art. I couldn't believe it, our prank had turned into Dave's big break. Carl and I were left scratching our heads. All our efforts had backfired in the most spectacular way. We confronted Dave, asking him if he felt even a tad guilty about profiting off our prank. He just laughed and said, "Well, you know what they say about art, sometimes you just have to pop up and make a statement." And that's when it hit me, Carl's plan may have burst, but Dave's gallery was the real pop sensation.